Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Jonathan Garcia, and in today's video we're going to be doing a quick meet recap of the World Championships in South Africa that happened past June. I've been really trying to get this video together, debating whether or not I should do it or not, talk about the highs and the lows of my entire experience in Africa and getting there and competing at this high level. But anyways, guys, we're gonna just jump right into it, give commentary on how the whole meet went. Hope you guys like it. Any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them down below. Without further ado, let's just get into it. So here's just a quick shot of the hotel area, kind of like after the dining hall. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's 3 hotels on site, and they were all equally beautiful. So this is the day before the competition. Just trying to go on a little walk, kind of clear my mind, kind of calm my nerves, kind of center myself spiritually. Make sure that I'm in a good mindset for the next day. Just kind of enjoying being in Africa. You know, one thing I really try to do with this experience was just soak up every single thing I could. It was so long, or it had been so long since I had traveled outside the country, and it kind of experienced things. Like there's a sign there, "Don't feed the monkeys," which is kind of hilarious to see as someone, you know, living in South Florida. But no, this property was absolutely beautiful here in Sun City. And again, this was just a beautiful little stroll through nature, and just again to recenter my mind and soak up every moment of this. I really want to just kind of remember the experience, because being 34, I don't know how many of these I have left, you know, in life. You know, you never know how many of, or how much of anything really you have in life. But I wanted to soak up the experience and just kind of really enjoy being here. It's a very rewarding feeling representing your country, being in an international competition, you know, competing against guys from other countries, other parts of the world, totally different from where you're from. And yeah, just to soak it all in, it was absolutely beautiful, and I loved being here. I felt honored to be there, and I felt just huge, immense pride, self-pride in myself and also my country. And I was just ready to rock and roll and just get some jitters out, which really why this walk was so helpful. You know, a lot of these times on these trips, you know, it is nice to be out and away, but you're not really here for vacation. So, you know, a lot of the times you're just kind of locked up in your hotel room, especially if you're cutting weight and stuff like that. You're not really focused on, oh, let's go out, let's go try this restaurant, or let's go for drinks. You're kind of there for business. So it was nice that the hotel was actually beautiful. I didn't feel like I needed to go anywhere. I don't think really, not that I could in the circumstances, but you had a chance to experience a little bit of Africa's beauty just right from the hotel. So I thought that was absolutely gorgeous. Didn't see any monkeys on this trip, but funny story, another powerlifter left his window cracked. I think his name was Gavin. And some monkeys broke into his room, ate all his snacks, and ate an entire container of melatonin sleeping gummies. And when he got back to his room, it was completely trash, which was insane. But nevertheless, didn't have any monkey problems in my room. It was nice, peaceful, quiet. Ended up watching just a lot of anime on Netflix to kind of pass the time and keep my mind off everything. Here's a little bit of what the interior of the hotel looked like. This was kind of like the common area where there was a ton of different restaurants and things like that. They had an amazing chicken place that was absolutely phenomenal. I wish they would have them over here in the States. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into the meet. So this is where we ended up making weight at. Making weight this meet was super easy. I was super on top of my diet, and probably the easiest cut I've ever had. All right, first squat, first lift of the competition. Feeling really nervous. Any lifter will tell you there's always butterflies until the first lift. We went in a little safe for the first lift. You always want to make sure you get something on the board. And here we go. Now, I've had a lot of people comment on my Demon Slayer anime socks. Quick story about like why I wore these to nationals and worlds. This past year's been rough being a dad to a young teenage girl, and we kind of stopped being able to just really see eye to eye on stuff. This year was a little rough on that, and something that kind of brought us together in a sense was this show called Demon Slayer that she really likes, and ended up being something that we kind of bonded over and are continuing to bond over and kind of geek out on. And it just kind of brought us a little closer together at a time that we were kind of really distant, and gave us something more, like I said, in common. And it was really nice to have these with me, and even though it is something super simple and a lot of people won't even just recognize, it was nice to just have something that reminded me of my daughter at that time. So that was really cool. It did cost me my SBD sponsorship because I totally forgot that or didn't know that we had to wear every single thing that they provided us, but they're still a great company and nothing but great things to say about them. But learn my lesson for next time. Definitely rep all SBD gear.
Set himself up for the gold medal on bench. We've seen it both happen previously.
So the first crazy thing that happened at Worlds, on my first squat, the spotter directly behind me was super close. So I thought I was actually going to dump this weight, because when I stepped back for the first time, I actually stepped directly on his foot. And in response, he slid it out very abruptly, and it caused me to stumble, if you kind of see that for a second there. But I was able to adjust and keep it in mind, keeping it kind of everything in alignment, and able to get the lift. But yeah, definitely scary moment for sure.
His levers when he has to try to walk that out. He's a little bow-legged, and but his up-down, his squat, his top-end squat strength can be close to young age. And Jonathan Garcia now, 263.5 kilo being loaded on the bar, a world record. And I told you, look, Jonathan Garcia, his squat can be competitive several weight classes up.
Sure. So this was Charles Okpoko's record from Helsingborg, 2019.
Jonathan Garcia himself has hit 697.5. He's right around that 700 kilo mark. That's what we estimate is going to get you on the podium. What color of medal would he be shooting for? We don't know. Still too early.
It's a good start, though, if you can lead the way coming out of squats.
I agree, and he'll collect the chip, which could come in pivotal down the road. No fear, no pain. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Jonathan Garcia, the horsepower in that 66 kilo man. How far will he take this?
That phrase, no fear, no pain, it's something I say to myself often when I'm in a situation that I'm just super nervous and fear is creeping in and all kinds of things kind of play in my head. That kind of just shakes all that negativity off of me before they actually take root, and just allows me to focus on the task at hand.
Jonathan Garcia, 271 kilo. This is just a hair below 600 pounds by a 66 kilo lifter. Unfathomable previous to Jonathan Garcia.
Absolutely amazing. His second looked, I don't know, comfortable is a strong word because that is a heavy weight. But it looked like this was on the cards.
You get no fiercer a competitor than Jonathan Garcia, I promise you. Already took the world record. Already in gold medal position for squats. But he wants those kilos. There's a bigger picture.
Now this moment right here, it has to be one of the greatest moments of my life. Just before walking to the bar, I truly felt in this moment that I was absolutely capable of anything in the world, any weight. It's a bit difficult to describe. I just, in that specific mindset, moments before walking up to the bar, I felt really free, really just alive, and I felt honestly like a fucking giant, and it was incredible.
Whoa! Just blew up 271 kilo. Oh. They
I
can
wondered
contest
about
it.
that, and they've gone straight to the jury. I just saw Mike's.
So give a little bit of insight on what happened here. One judge said I was good, one called for depth, and the other one said no good. So in a competition like this, I learned later on, is whenever there's a one white light and one card and one red, you can actually contest it. So that's exactly what happened there. So Mike went over to the judges, so on and so forth, and they told him kind of what happened. Something interesting happens. Another panel actually looks at it. Totally different judges. So the judges on the platform and the judges who review it are two separate sets of judges. Neither of them were from America, and so there's like no chances of, favoritism or whatnot. And the ruling judges actually, or the second set of judges actually ruled it as a good lift in my favor. So ended up getting the world record, which was an awesome way to start the competition.
For a guy like Jonathan, he 100% believes he's going to be the world champion. And a squat world record for some people who the world title isn't really a realistic goal.
Sure.
They might protect it. But for him, if you asked him and you said the game plan, he's like, we're not protecting a record. We're going all in for whatever's best to secure the gold.
So here's one of the variables in powerlifting that just out of the lifter's control is going to be the spotter. I felt like on this one, he kind of had his hands on it a little bit longer than what I'm comfortable with and I'm used to training. And also, too, so much noise going around. I actually jumped the press command. I could have sworn I heard press, but there's a lot of people in that small room, and we just missed that one. Now, a small conversation Ari and I had in the back was pretty much, hey, man, how did that first lift feel? I said, hey, it felt really light, very doable. So we opted to go up to be aggressive, to still try to lead the pack, have everyone try to catch up to me. At this time of the meet, my lower back was feeling incredibly tight. It's felt tight since the plane ride. Try to loosen up a little bit, but here on the bench, it really started flaring up. And still felt strong, and we ended up getting this bench and kind of put us on the board. The announcers were making a comment like, oh, I should try to protect my my world record, because obviously, if you make a world record but you scratch out on bench and deadlift and don't get a total up, your world record is non-valid. But I wasn't thinking in that mindset. I was thinking about, we came here to be world champion, and that's the kind of game plan that we stuck to.
Missed 165, opted to go up to 170 for a second, going up to 175 for a
Now, by this time, coming up to the third bench, I was still feeling strong. My lower back was really, really pinching hard. Try to loosen up a little bit in the back. I had taken some ibuprofen before the meet and during my squats. But here, I just felt very, very tight. Couldn't find that space to loosen up a little bit. Handoff was a lot better here on this one. He didn't take a very long time giving it to me. Press command was good, and I just felt like I don't know, the bar went down a little bit on the left side, and I could hear the crowd and Bonica screaming, it's going up, so I just kept driving. I didn't want to lose the fight on that one, and here you see me limping a little bit. Really, really hurt my lower back. It was incredible, just the amount of strain I felt on that lower back, just giving it everything I had on that drive. But unfortunately, we didn't get it. A little frustrating considering I had done so much in training before the meet, but sometimes things don't work out. But as a lifter, you have to keep on rolling with the punches. And here's me and Arian kind of walking backstage after that lift, and you can see the pain on my face.
He's got a serviceable deadlift. It's just, in terms of a comparison to the rest of this field, which is the world's best 66 kilo lifters, He's going to lose some ground in the deadlift event. How much? Well, we'll see.
Now, deadlifts for me, again, because of my anatomy, I don't really have long arms, so they've always kind of been my weaker of the three lifts, but that's something I've definitely been working on, and I was overall pleased with the end result. I mean, I was able to match a meet PR, which I haven't done in a long time. My biggest problem on the deadlift is going to be grip. So what I've started to incorporate is actually doing hook grip. I started doing hook grip with double over, but after about 500 pounds, I found it very difficult to keep in my hand. So I came up with the idea of doing mixed grip, but also incorporating the hook grip. Because with straps, I can rep out, 6 to 615 on the deadlift. But what's really holding me back was my small hands, and they're small and meaty hands. So it was hard to keep a hold of the damn bar on anything after like 520, 535. Pounds. So we decided to go ahead and bite the bullet, and it is extremely painful and always is every time I train it, but it's the best way that I have found to keep a hold of the damn bar and stop missing these damn deadlifts.
Well,
so these deadlifts went really well. My lower back was still absolutely killing me at this moment, but I took some ibuprofen in the back, laid down, had Arian use the massage gun on my lower back, and we rubbed some Tiger Balm on it to try to help loosen it up and go on and just keep on keeping on with the original game plan. But it was an overall really great meet, and the deadlifts went great. And honestly, I walked away really satisfied with deadlifts. It's never been my best event, but they're getting better and better. In the past 2 meets, I've gone 6 for 6 on deads, so we're dramatically improving. And I give it up to the hook grip on that one.
Right now he's in the silver. There's a lot more pulls to come.
But his second looked so good.
Yeah, is 7.5 kilo too light for a third? It's hard to tell.
I'm not sure about lockout there.
You know what? That might have been the right call, because at the top, he's had issues. It's the grip. And when you look at the review here, right at the top, it starts coming out of his fingers a little bit. That's where even 2.5 kilo to 5 kilo more.
I've said this once, and I'll probably say it a dozen more times throughout my life. This is one of the most amazing experiences I've ever been fortunate enough to be a part of. I thought my career in competitive lifting was over years ago, and to now be at the top echelon competing amongst the best lifters in the world, and also having the privilege to count myself among them, it was absolutely phenomenal. I'll always remember this trip and this blessing of an opportunity to go out there and show the world what I'm made out of, and most importantly, show myself what I'm made out of. I saw some really cool things. I met some really cool people, had some great interactions with other lifters, some not so great, but that is the nature of competitive sports. Some people just can't, I guess, take that kind of loss and be cool about it. But you know what, man? I think overall, everyone I met was super awesome, and I was just so stoked, again, to be a part of this and to meet fellow lifters, not only from around the world, but get a little bit closer to lifters that are from the U.S. All right, guys, that's it. That wraps up the video. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you could leave a like and maybe sub, helps me grow the channel. I'm very looking forward to the new content I'm going to be putting out in the next couple weeks. Thanks again, guys.